Happy Friday, everybody! TJIL. Thank God it's Friday. It's what is today? Today's like the 5th. Oh,
15th.
I should know the date. Oh my God, I'm in so much trouble. I'm not knowing the date.
This is your anniversary.
It is. It's
Really?
7 years.
That's embarrassing.
It is. So what's going on over there, right next door? She's literally in the room next door.
So thanks for that, David. I was just watching the governor's press conference and opening up gyms on Monday. But the thing that I was really excited about and kind of really affects us in the real estate market is he said that he is considering short-term rentals on a county by county basis. So I am going to be reaching out to our Orange County, the county commissioners around here where we sell, and obviously ask if they've, he said he was going to base it on kind of what they propose in terms of their plan to be safe and those types of things. And so I'm going to be reaching out to the commissioners and just see if they've, approached them with a plan just to kind of keep a better idea of what's going on with that. So
right.
That's affecting us on a business aspect. And then, I'm also dying to go to the beach next week.
I know you are. I know. I was going to say, if you didn't say it, I was going to say it. I said, I have mixed feelings on it because I forgot that Dana was going to be gone for the whole week, next week possibly. And I have lined up 4 guests for next week. And we all know how that goes when I'm by myself.
No, David, but I really need to go to the beach.
I know you do, and that's great. But anyway, I got to hang up.
Anyway, so that's the update, and
well, cool. Well, we do have a guest today. Somebody we go so far back. It goes so far back it makes my skin want to break out. That's how far back it goes. It's Eileen Scates from Pink Door Management and Scates Realty as well, right? Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, you have okay. I know you have a microphone. In fact,
yep, there it is. So yes,
microphone, right?
Scates Realty and Pink Door Management. Yes, sir.
Yes, we play fair with everybody. We don't care if she's from another company, but we do love the fact that she was our former relocation director before we had that big turn of events and all of that. And it's just like, so she's one of my favorite people. Don't tell Dana that. But anyway, I popped in her.
David.
I know I have many favorites. But we, your office is up in the Claremont area, right up at actually like downtown Claremont area. So
we actually moved 3 years ago. I outgrew the downtown office, so now I'm off of Highway 50.
Well, I thought that was downtown. I know it was there. So
it's nice. We've got more room here.
Yeah, and tell us what's been going on with you. What have you been doing?
We've been staying busy. Property management, especially now, has had a lot of different changes. We are always trying to keep up with the legal stuff. And then we've been partnering up with brokerages like y'all selves to make sure that everyone's kind of up to date and we all know what we're doing.
Yeah, that's important. I mean, you also have been doing, I know you work with a lot of veterans, correct?
Yes, we do. We're part of the Homes for Heroes. So we do a lot with them, whether they're and I'm part of the American Legion Auxiliary. I'm their president. So we kind of stay busy and helping them relocate or just find resources, motorcycle events.
Yeah, I know. It's like we've all grown up and become adults now. Isn't that funny?
I know. I was so upset when they canceled Leesburg Bike Fest. I think I threw a temper tantrum.
I know. I think we heard it down here. Yeah. No, a lot of things like that have happened. I know Dana's daughter, there was a big volleyball thing here. There is all kinds of events that just, it seems like such a shame, but at the same time, on the air of caution, I mean, I told Dana I went into Publix today and about a third of the people were wearing
masks.
We're not wearing
masks. Yeah, so was that really annoying,
Yeah, my little Jacob is was supposed to be graduating this year, so he's one of the 2020 senior skip day champions.
But you know what? They will have the most unique experience of anyone, and so it's It's tough, but this group of kids, they are tough. It was amazing. Someone was writing about these seniors, and of course, my heart goes out to them. My kids are past that. Baylor has said a couple times, she's like, "Oh my God, Mom, I feel so bad for them. I can't even imagine if it was me going through it." But this same group of kids, they were born right after 9/11, so they kind of, they're tough. They're
resilient. 9/11.
You know who actually benefits from all of this not having the graduation, right? It's the parents and the aunts and uncles not having to sit through 700 people to wait, especially if you're way down.
My right as giving birth to a mom is to watch him cross that stage.
I know they don't have that for puppies, so it doesn't count for me. I sat through both of my nephews. Don't get me wrong, and I love them dearly. But my Orange County has some big old schools. Yeah. So, well, Eileen, we actually have you here because of your management skills that's with a Z. And so what are you seeing in the rental markets right now? Are you seeing enough rentals, not enough? And what's the pricing look like? I mean, that's probably one of the biggest things we get all the time is, we get, first of all, what does it cost to rent out my house? What's associated with that? And I'm also a lot of people that are kind of in limbo right now that are wondering, they kind of want to rent for a year before. And for those of our agents watching, Eileen's a perfect person to talk to because if you rent with her, she's going to send them right back to you at the end of that lease. It's not like she's going to try and snag them and convert them into clients. So, tell us what's going on with the rental world right now.
So the best way to send them out to me is like through the CRM because it tags you, and then I can call and talk to y'all and say, hey, kind of check on you. But the biggest thing is people kind of, I don't know, have this bad idea of, oh God, they're rentals or they're tenants, and every kind of person is going to rent, whether they're only going to live here for a relocation. I mean, remember, people are coming in and out of Florida. They might only be here for a year or 2 years. I've had people come in from all over the world to just be here for 12 months because they're here to learn, go to school, or like their family, the kids are going to Montessori schools or like Mount Verde, and they want to kind of be here for the first year, see how their kids are doing. Or we have families that are relocating and they're not sure, do they want to live in Orlando? Do they want to live in Claremont? And the prices are kind of crazy. So if you want more space, you're going to want a single family home or a condo versus an apartment. And even though now apartments are getting a little bit more pet friendly, you still have more space for pets and families to be in a single family home.
Do you find that as of late, the single family homes are almost more affordable in some cases than the apartments?
Very much so. You get way more space. Now, the amenities on the apartments are a lot better because you have way more. Sometimes the subdivision that you're getting maybe doesn't have a community pool, but the space and the price, it's better to go to a house. And with especially what's been going on, self-managing is a little bit more difficult because you have to be careful with all the crazy laws that are out there. And I've seen some stuff on the news, and all I keep going is like, oh my God, you can't do that. That's not right. That's not legal. And it's not just morally, it's illegal. So having a professional on your side really benefits you. And, ask your tax accountant. Our work is tax write-off.
Well, it is amazing some of the things you hear, the troubles people go through with regular landlords or with other property management companies as well. I mean, I think there are some property management companies that have really they're almost too overzealous or overstepping, I think, in the interest of trying to maybe protect their client, but also just being a little bit greedy and not seeing the other side of it. When sometimes there are circumstances that a seller may want to allow the buyer to do something, and the management company, because of their interest in it, doesn't let it happen. I mean, I'm talking about where a seller wants to let a tenant out because maybe they want to buy a home, for example. And I think you're a little more in tune with that and than some of these other people who do nothing but rentals, and their goal is just to get that entire contract. I mean, it seems a little. It seems to me the more corporate they are, the more difficult they are to deal with.
Yes and no. I always say, because our office, and I know both. Relocation has helped me. And when I talk to the agents, and I work with agents from all over, and I said, okay, if we work together, we can make this process go smoothly. What I think is always the part that's forgotten is the tenant's feelings. The tenant signed a lease, and so in their minds for the next 12 months, they're going to be allowed to have peace of home. And an agent might come in and just kind of bully their way in and be like, you need to do this, this, and this. And then it's like they've stripped them of their rights. So I always would say, be nice, be professional. There's a reason they're renting, and it's, it is their personal choice, and we should play nice that way. And once I talk to an agent like that, it smooths out so much.
I think I may have interpreted. You may have interpreted what I was saying, or maybe I said it backward. Maybe I never get things wrong. What I was saying is that sometimes a seller wants to let a tenant leave their lease early so that tenant can buy a property or some other thing. And I've seen agencies where person sees is so that's what I was talking about.
Okay, so there's that way too, but there is processes. So if somebody wanted to leave my office and say buy a house, or they're ready to sell a house or move back in, I have certain guidelines that I have to abide by, because if my office gets audited, they want to see, well, why did you do this for this person and not this person? And on paper, it may look like I discriminated, but if they got my backstory, well, they opened it up and they said this. So I have to add those explanations. But for the most part, there's militant corporate, and then there's working property management. I guess. I
think I would probably go with kind of the middle, because if there's nothing else, I just think that sometimes the human factor gets lost when you have something. And I mean, we're talking about our brand as well. I mean, it's the CB company. They can be a little militant with their leasing, and I understand why. I mean, they are corporate owned and all that. But it just gets to be a little challenging sometimes when both parties are in agreement and the only person holding up the deal is the rental folks. So, but I don't think I would have that problem with you. So what else is going on? How many agents do you have these days?
We have 8, and then we have 6 referrals. The property management team. We're virtual, and as here, and we're just getting ready to expand into East Orlando. So.
Oh, wow. Great. Where are you going to have a brick and mortar there? Are you going to be there?
Right now we have a satellite, so we're waiting on the DBPR and all that good news.
Gotta love them.
And then we have satellite in Davenport, because the Four Corners Davenport area handles our short term as well. Okay. So right now, that's Pink Door Holiday Homes. That one's kind of like shut down for right now because they're not allowed to do anything. But.
Well, did you hear what I said in the chat before you came on? So you guys may definitely. I mean, I literally just heard it from the governor himself that he would consider counties on a case-by-case basis. So.
The way they're doing it right now is they're only allowing the short terms that are more corporate versus the smaller Airbnb or single family homes. And I have the smaller single family homes, the people that are just getting into investments and have flipped either from short term or long term. So mine might be in phase 3 versus open that way.
It seems
ridiculous, doesn't it?
That is ridiculous. I mean,
people can walk around public without a mask on, touching everything, yet this person who's going to isolate themselves in this house potentially because they're not going to the parks, they're not able to go to theme parks. They want to go to an Airbnb and be safe. And no, that's not acceptable. But please hack up a lung on me at Publix without your mask on. That's awesome.
But it's kind of like saying with the opening of the gyms. So you can open a corporate gym, but you can't open a mom and pop gym. I mean, it should be gyms are gyms, short-term rentals are short-term rentals.
Yes.
I have a pink one. In theory, their cleaning company maybe would be better than my cleaning company, except that I use a corporate, well-known, this is what they do as a livelihood business, cleaning company. So I'm really not sure what the mentality is. Because I mean the taxes that they have to pay are just as much. So
Yeah.
That's unfortunate. So hopefully that will change. I think, again, just knowing that it's on a county by county basis, putting, us as realtors reaching out to the county, but then also owners, reaching out to your county folks and just trying to, plead your case and do everything because, David can attest. I'm all about being cautious right now and being responsible and being thoughtful. But when something doesn't make logical sense, if we are making the decision to open up short-term rentals, then there should not be discrimination based on who owns said short-term rental.
Yeah.
And I think some people towards Airbnb, they automatically think it's only a separate house, or they think it's only a room in somebody else's house. I mean, it can be either or. So I'm not sure how those are going to happen either.
That's interesting. Yeah, I would never stay. I don't think I would ever stay with another complete stranger on vacation like that. That's kind of creepy to me, especially in this situation.
It was fun.
Ooh, no.
We're
a stranger.
Yeah.
In like another country.
Yeah. Not another country. They were. It doesn't matter if they were in another.
So many questions and comments I can make. I would do. Eileen, I'm with you on this one.
I traveled Europe in hostels, and it was fun. And
I was freaked out just being on the overnight train from Venice to Paris and they also took my passport to that, so that was probably part of it. I remember there was a tiny little blue light, like the kind you have on your TV monitor when the power's off, just that tiny little light, and that was up in the ceiling, and that was all I could see during this entire trip. I did not sleep a wink.
I remember driving in Rome, and I was like, I never want to do that again.
Rome is awesome, though. I mean, did the best way to see Rome or Paris or anything like that is to take a excuse me, a Segway tour. There's they're amazing. We got to take one in Rome, and they take the limiters off, so you can go. That we went on Circus Maximus and just went all the way around the track like a crazy person. Yeah.
Oh, that sounds fun.
It was a lot of fun. I think it's one of them. I think people look at, it's a Segway tour. It's really cool. It's a great way to see the city and familiarize yourself. When did you go to Rome?
Actually, I was with y'all still when I went to Rome. So that was a while ago.
Like 2008-ish. We went right. Do you remember when the whole this is when George Bush was president and the financial system broke down? I remember we were in Rome when that happened, and I'm holding my computer out the window to try and get some kind of Wi-Fi signal because we couldn't. Wi-Fi's come so much further since then, but we could barely see it on TV and all of that. But I remember a lot of graffiti. Do you remember a lot of graffiti when you were there?
I don't think so. I went there to eat.
I ate. I did not miss the meal.
Random comments.
But when you go to Rome, I'm looking at you like I'm looking in your face. When you go to Rome, you don't expect to see there are a few things. Well, did you take the train coming from the airport? Did you come up right in front of the Colosseum? Is that not? That's one thing that people that go to Rome and take the train. That's one thing they always remember. How you're like, I'm going to see this, and then you walk out on the street. It's like, bam! There's the Colosseum. Is bigger than you think it would be, but some great restaurants, and just to go sit there and grab a few, have them make you a pizza and a little salad and some gelato afterwards, and going in the shops and getting that big old thing of crusty bread. I was in heaven.
Limoncello.
Good one too.
Yeah, it was a fun time, but
I'm ready to go.
Are we supposed to be talking about real estate?
Oh yeah. Property management. Yeah, back into it.
Yeah. So, and it's been an interesting couple of months. I mean, we've seen a little bit of a slowdown here in buying the company on April 1st was not, we thought we would be like coming into season, but I think are you seeing anything kind of a buildup of people waiting to list their homes?
I'm seeing them. Well, it depends. If they have to relocate, then they're just putting it on the market and they're just hoping that, all the COVID guidelines are going to be adhered to. But then for property management, people are deciding, hey, let's hold on, let's put it up for management. I've got tenants still renting. We've been busy and busier than I expected. I thought, okay, I'm going to be able to retweak some things. Maybe I'll clean my office. But no, we've been really busy.
I would imagine that quite a few people are deciding, like, I really can't be in my apartment any longer. And I need, when my lease is up, and certainly if it's up anytime now, is just like, hey, I need to have a backyard. That's just like logic to me, because I know I can't even imagine if we could only be inside our house during this. We have, going outside is kind of like, I need to know that the world is out there kind of thing. So
yeah, I think the misconception too is that it's only young people that rent as well. And I have quite a lot of clients that they've sold their houses and they don't want to rent. I think this year and the end of last year, we had a large increase of seniors wanting to rent. And they're like, Eileen, I want you to just take care of everything for me. I don't want to own anymore. And they rent.
Yeah. Now, this is something that's been popping up on the real estate mastermind message boards about people having to move. If they have a rental right now and they can't afford their rent, are they allowed to be evicted right now? Or more importantly, I've got 2 different properties right now where the tenant is supposed to be out at the end of May. Is there anything that legally that can keep them in that location?
Well, as far as the evictions, you're not allowed to evict for non-payment of rent right now. And so you got to be super careful. And there's quite a lot of negative stuff that I've seen on the news and everything. There's no such thing as they're not going to waive rent. They're not going to forgive rent because they're not going to forgive mortgages. And I really hope that people that they decide to not pay their mortgage and do a forbearance, be very careful on those options, because they're not only trying to save the mortgage, they're affecting the tenant. And if a tenant has to move out, we've had some where they kind of got stuck because they weren't allowed to leave to go where they were going. So it was kind of on hold. So we just work with the landlords and we let the agents know what's going on. And everything has to have more of a human factor now, more than ever before. It's not, yes, there's a contract, but this is different. This is not like the back in our old day in 2008 and where we had the foreclosure situations and short sales were happening. This is totally different. So even though there is a hard contract, you still want to have a human factor in there. So I think the question would be is, are they okay with them staying? Are they going to pay rent? Because even though we can't evict now, it can happen later. And when it does happen later, it can affect them later, because it's very hard for somebody to be able to rent a house again if there's an eviction. And if they have a balance due, it's going to come up when they're trying to buy a house.
And do you guys handle evictions?
We handle everything, but we use attorneys. So we give them the entire file and they do the evictions, and their attorneys, that's all they do is property management law.
About 30 days. 30 days to evict?
This COVID thing is going to be a little bit different, but
on average, though. About 30,
on average, I can get them out in 30 to 45 days. Yeah.
It's crazy.
Eileen, just for the people watching, just to kind of give them an overview of what a property manager does on behalf of the landlord, just kind of give us a little, sneak peek and price range, because I think that people don't understand how truly affordable property management is for what you get done,
Well, first of all, you definitely want to have a property manager that's licensed. And I think that's also a misconception. People don't realize that I have to have a real estate license for the state of Florida to do property management, whether it's long-term or short-term. Then you want somebody that does property management full-time. They don't know the difference between a leasing agent and a real estate agent that does not do property management. So once they get past that misconception, then they'll understand what I do. We do property management full-time, so we're checking on the property where we work for the landlords, but we have a relationship with the tenants, because they're the ones that you want to make sure that they stay happy to take care of the property and live in peace. We do drive-bys, we do internal, interior inspections, we take care, we check on any maintenance, we'll do like an analysis to see what the maintenance will be coming for later in the future. So if they say, okay, well, that's going to be a huge expense, maybe it's time to sell, we'll do that analysis, contact the agent that sent us that client, and then they'll do a market analysis to see if it's worth selling right now. We work with at the end of the year, we have reports for them, their taxes, they have to be done. We get the paperwork in. When there's storms and hurricanes, we check on the properties to make sure if there's any damage. And I mean, it could be something as like we have several of them right now. They're taking advantage of getting roofs. So we're going to the properties to make sure how are things going. We're making sure the tenant's taken care of. So there's a lot of stuff in the background. It's not a side hustle, and it's not just about collecting a check. We do so much more throughout the day. Mm-hmm. And I've had landlords that say, I don't want to hear from you, not even if there's a problem, unless it's a big problem. And then there's landlords that want to hear from us a lot. And it kind of takes away from us being able to do our jobs, because if we have to coordinate a couple of things, then try to get the phone call, we might miss that call for coordination. But we stay busy.
Well, that's good. Well,
and then how much do you charge a seller?
The prices vary depending on what company. There's flat rate fees, which you really need to look into, because normally the lower end, that means you're going to have a lot of fees that are surprises throughout. We don't do flat fees. I send a fee sheet out, and this is what it is. And the only exception is if I had to do a full rehab on a property and kind of keep an eye on that. But I mean, they're looking at anywhere from 8 to 15% a month. There's renewal fees and marketing and listing. So I would say if somebody's interested, they should reach out to a professional property manager and ask certain questions. And one of them is definitely, do you do this full time? And, do you have systems in place? And that's something that they like, because majority of our clients are either out of state or overseas, and they like that they can just log in online. They don't have to stay up and wait for our time frame to be able to talk to us.
That's awesome.
Right.
All righty. Well, listen, we're coming up on the half-hour mark. It was, as always, a pleasure to see you. And next time I'm in the Claremont area, I'll just drop it like I did the other day.
Hop in my door.
I love it. She's got the cutest little house up there, Dana. You got to come by and see it. Dana's around the corner, kind of now. She's a Claremontian.
You're talking about where their office is. I know exactly where their office is. With your little sign, the pink sign. I like
hot pink doors, hot pink sign.
I love it. I love it.
Awesome. Well, have a great weekend. You have anything big planned for this weekend?
Well, I'm supposed to be on a motorcycle run for Memorial Day, which, by the way, happy Red Shirt Friday. So I'm not sure. I'm not cleaning my closet, though.
Is it? It's not, I thought you were saying Memorial Day. I said it can't be Memorial Day yet.
No. Every time we do a motorcycle ride, when there's a celebration, it's almost always the weekend before Memorial Day, because on Memorial Day will be an actual celebration of life.
Gotcha.
Oh, okay.
Well, awesome. Well, I tell you what, we're going to let you go, and I'm going to try and get this all booted up here. Do you want to? We actually have one little thing we have to do here with you, and because it's kind of a tradition, and since we know you, you can do it with us.
You can do it with us.
It's where we dance it out and say goodbye and dance it out. So I'm going to put it up on the screen. You'll hear the music. Just have fun doing a little chair dancing, okay? We'll see you next time, guys. Have a great weekend, all right?
Woo-hoo.